My sweet friends, today I'm going to be doing a reading vlog, and not only a reading vlog but giving authors a second chance reading vlog. Haven't done this ever, and I have some books on my TBR that are from authors that I didn't really enjoy their books that I have read from them in the past, and I thought, why not just do this, see if I like them, if not, get them off my shelf. We're going to be reading 3 books this week. So the 3 authors I'm going to be telling you are relatively like popular authors. I would say a lot of people love these authors' books, and I don't know, I want to know if it's the author I just don't vibe with, or if it was the wrong first book of theirs to read. So first author is Kalreadsalot. I read The Love Hypothesis, didn't really like it. I know she's come out with so many other books since then. I just have been hesitant to pick up anything else from her because I didn't like The Love Hypothesis, but Check and Mate came through on my holds from my library, so we're gonna be reading Check and Mate. I know she just came out with Bride, but Bride has a really long hold, so I will not be reading Bride, but we're gonna be reading Check and Mate. I've heard a lot of people really love this book. All I know is this is a YA romance, so that's all I know. The next author is a very popular author, V.E. Schwab. I read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. In fact, I bought the Waterstones Anniversary Edition, which is very stunning, before I even read this book, because I was like, surely I'm gonna really love this book. Like, I'm gonna love this book, and I didn't really like it. I want to give it a second chance, but most importantly, I want to give her a second chance. So I'm reading A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I've heard a lot of people love this book. In fact, when I was checking out at the bookstore, the guy who was checking me out was like, I love this series. It's a fantastic series. It's one of my favorite series. So I'm very hopeful that I'm gonna like this. Again, no idea what this is about, but once I get into it, I will let you know. And the last author, I can never say her name. I want to say Olivia, but I know it's not. Olivia, is it Olivia Blake? Olivia Blake, Masters of Death. So those are the 3 books I'm going to be reading for this vlog. I'm really hopeful that I'm going to really like some of these authors, but the goal of this video is to check an author off my list, being like, not for me, or add a new author to my list that I'm like, yes, I will purchase every single book that they come out with. So let's get started. Morning, guys. It is 7 o'clock in the morning. I got up early and read before work. It's my new little routine. If you missed it, I did a 5 a.m. experiment where I woke up at 5 a.m. to read every week. Go check that video out. Spoiler alert, I ended up loving it. So this is my new routine now. And I read a little bit of Check and Mate. I'm now 30% of the way through Check and Mate, and I'm not hating it. Like, I for sure thought I would go into this and be like so put off, but I'm not. I'm actually kind of enjoying it. So let me say what it's about. So in this book, you're following Mallory, who is a very talented chess player. She used to eat, breathe, live for chess, and then something happened where she just no longer played. Like, she doesn't want anything to do with it. It has something to do with her dad. I haven't found out yet, but she's like very much put off by it. She's like, I don't want anything to do for it. She has a lot on her plate too. She's an 18-year-old. She basically cares for her family. Like, she's the provider for her family because her mom is sick with a chronic illness. She's 2 younger sisters who are 12 and 14, I think, and she like does everything. She's basically the mom of the house, which is a lot. She's 18. She's a kid herself. Even though technically you're an adult at 18, that never made sense to me in my head, how at 18 you're an adult, but you still are a teenager as well. Like, that whole thing I think should be changed. And on top of that, her best friend is leaving for college and she is staying behind to help with the family. And also she works for a car company that her uncle used to have a share in, and then he left. Anyways, so one day her best friend Easton is like, hey, I need you to come help me out at this chess tournament. Like, I promised whoever I would play, and it's for charity. Like, I need a 4th member. And she like fights against it. She's like, no, I'm never picking up a chess piece. And then eventually she does and goes and plays. Well, she ends up being matched up with this guy named Nolan Sawyer, who's a very famous chess player, and she ends up wiping the board and beating him. And she sprints out because she's like, oh my god, because she knows who he is. She found him years ago and like is very aware. And then the next day she's approached by this woman who's like, hey, I don't know if it's like a school, a job, a work, I don't really know how to describe it, but she's basically like the head of a bunch of chess players, and she's like, I want you to be on my team, like I'll pay you, you're gonna eat, breathe, study chess, you know, 5 days a week, and on and on and on. So something happens in her job and she goes and works for her, and then she goes to her first tournament and she ends up doing very, very well and ends up matching with Nolan again, and that's where I'm gonna leave it. I don't know anything else because I haven't read anything else further from that point, but here's a couple things that is clicking in my brain as to why the love hypothesis didn't really work for me. Is because Ali Hazelwood, so far from I read from her, is a very plot convenient author, and what I mean by that is she will make things in the story convenient to the plot. So example, she had a job at the car salesman. She mentions like her uncle had a share and then he quit, and then like the boss has not really been nice. And within the same week, this lady approached her about the tournament and the job. Conveniently, she gets fired from her job because of something, and so she has no choice but to work for the chess lady. And another convenient plot thing that happened is she's at the chess tournament and she's like, oh, I want to go for a swim, but I don't have like a bikini, so you know, basically underwear is the same thing, which yeah. So I already knew what was gonna happen. The minute she said that, I'm like, oh, I know. A certain someone is gonna walk in on her, and guess what? A certain someone walked in on her. So there's just little things like that I'm like, but I'm not hating this book at all. Do I get frustrated at the fact that she's 18 and has all this on her plate and I feel incredibly sorry for her? Yeah, I get really frustrated with that because I'm like, she should not be doing this. She should not be doing this. She needs to have a talk with her mom. She's still a kid and that is still her mother. The line is blurred. The other thing that made me really sad is there was this gathering for these chess players that move on to like the semifinals or round 2 or whatever, and she's there with one of her like co-workers, and a bunch of guys come up and they're just making like nasty comments and like are just being misogynistic pigs towards her. And the next day the comments that they made for her run through her head and she changes her outfit, and I feel so sorry for her because you should never do that. Don't let a man do that to you. Don't let anyone do that to you. So yeah, I am really liking it. I'm 100 pages in now. I'll probably finish it pretty quickly because I read pretty fast on my Kindle. I'm gonna go have my breakfast. I do have to leave for work in a little bit. I will talk to you guys later. Hello guys, I'm coming on here for a little small mini update. I finished Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood yesterday morning, and I'll talk about more about my thoughts and feelings and ratings and all that once I'm ready. You can see I'm obviously not ready. I've never looked better. But I also then picked up another book. I put a poll up on my Instagram, which if you don't follow me on Instagram, you totally should because I do this often, of the last remaining books on this TBR for this video, and you guys chose A Darker Shade of Magic. So I started this, I got 30 pages in. I have no thoughts, but the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm about to read more. I have like big cleaning projects to do today, like carpet clean, fish tank needs done, clean the fridge, just stuff that's gonna take a while. And I found the audiobook on my library, thank God, so I'm gonna listen to the audiobook while I do the cleaning. But once I get that done and I'm ready for the day, I will come back and do a review of Check and Mate and tell you like my thoughts and feelings on Ali Hazelwood now, and then I'll tell you where I'm at in Darker Shade of Magic. So I will see you guys then. So it is a little later, and I promised you guys I'd come back with my thoughts for Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. I read it on my Kindle, and I read this book pretty fast. Let me pull up my notes because I wrote some notes about it, but this is my second Ali Hazelwood book. I read this book first by Ali Hazelwood, which I think this was her first published novel. I know she writes fan fiction or something. So overall, I think I'm gonna give this book a 3-star. I didn't hate it, but I didn't like absolutely love it. Like I wasn't obsessed with it. Like I know a lot of people really like Check and Mate, and I can see why. It's better than The Love Hypothesis. I think there was a couple things that gave me like an ick in this book. One of my big book icks is when books mention real life stuff. And I'm not taking places or anything like that. I'm talking like music, apps, stuff like that really gives me the ick. I don't want to read about it. Like I don't want to read about TikTok, and there was TikTok mentioned in this book quite a lot. There was music mentioned in this book, and so I was just kind of like, like it takes me out of the book because I'm like, oh, that's like real life stuff. And another thing I didn't really like was her sisters are so annoying, and I think that was the point, to like really show the age of the sisters, which I got. But there was a scene where, this may be spoiler, it's probably a spoiler, but it's like a little tiny spoiler. Nolan comes over for dinner and her youngest sister, I think she's 12, starts talking about them having sex. I was like, is the mom not gonna, like, I understand, and I think she's just trying to show that they're all open, but no. That gave me the biggest ick and cringe, and I immediately just wanted to be like, and I'm not a prude, like, I'm not a prude, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I think it was a little strange how Ali Hazelwood wrote this 12-year-old discussing it. Like, she is 12, she is a baby, and you're having her talk about it, about these two grown adults. I just think it was odd, and I didn't like that at all. Another thing that I didn't really like is the best friend Easton. The fight they had, because she showed up to Mal for an event and they had a little tiff, and it wasn't really a tiff. Easton was kind of blaming Mallory for some stuff, while the whole time Easton's equally as guilty too. Like, that was never talked about. It was always like, Mallory, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, like, you should have reached out. She did text you and you never text her back. You left her on red multiple times. And also, you know your best friend, because she was saying how like, oh, it looked like from the articles I read that you were having timeline and you didn't miss me. You know your best friend and what she's going through and how she feels towards this certain activity. Why did you assume she was having the time of her life? You know, I thought it was really odd of her, and that would have made me pissed off. Like, yes, I get it, you flew all the way here, you made the effort to show up, but like, from the time you left to college till now, you never ever really put an effort to it, and that's on you, because I texted you and you left me on red. And I think that's really all I gotta say about it. I'm gonna change my rating now that I'm talking about it. I think I'm gonna give it a 2.5, honestly. Would I read Ali Hazelwood again? I wouldn't go out of my way to read it. Like, if I was gifted the book, I would read it. Or if it came on my library, I think I would give it a chance, but I don't know if I'd go out of my way to willingly like buy an Ali Hazelwood. Like, I wouldn't spend my money on Ali Hazelwood. So the next author that we're taking a swing at, like I said this morning, is V.E. Schwab. V.E. Schwab, I read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab and didn't really like it. Although this is on my radar to give it a second chance. So if you guys want to see a vlog where I give books I hated a second chance, let me know, because I can definitely do that, because this is one of them that I would love to give like a second chance. But this one is a lot different from Addie LaRue. The writing's different. This is definitely still like character driven so far. I listened to this morning. I read about 50 pages of this, and so I'm now like 82 pages into this book, and we got two different POVs. Hell, who is a magician, and he can walk through different London. So in this world, there are a couple different London. There's red, gray, white, and black. And I think red is the like rich London, and only certain people, they're called the Antari. They're called the Antari, can walk through these different Londons, and he is one of them. He's a very powerful one. He's got blood magic. And so he serves as an ambassador to the king and like goes to these different courts and delivers messages. But on the side, he also is kind of like a smuggler. Like, he takes offers from these people who are not magic people, and like he takes like trinkets, music boxes, like anything that isn't magical he takes, because they don't have that in his world, and he gives them like a piece of his world or shows them match, something like that. And that's all I know so far about him. And then we following Lila, who pickpocketer, and I'm guessing they meet up at some point, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of a little bored right now in it. I'm like, can we get something going? I'm not really connecting with any of the characters, which I seem to find a way in every single book to connect to them somehow, even if it's just like a little itty bitty way. But this one, I'm not really connecting with them at all, and I think I just have to like sit down and actually read it. I think once they meet up, because I'm guessing Lila and Cal meet up, that I will absolutely devour this book. I'm thinking, I don't know, but I'm still trying to figure out the whole world and like what happened and why they're separated into 4 different Londons. This will be a quick read though, because it is separated into different sections. So like this, there's different sections and they're really short, so it makes breaking up the reading really easy. So I'm gonna go back and read some more of this, because I actually haven't read any more of this since this morning when I listened to a little bit on audio. I've been doing content work all day long. So I'm gonna sit down and read that at some point in the near future. But I just wanted to update you on my thoughts, and I'll come back when I'm bored. I just read another part and I'm now on part 5, and we just met the rulers of White London. So each London has a different ruler. So White London is ruled by twins, Astrid and Athos, and they're mean. They're evil. And in White London, magic like takes over them. They're very greedy for magic. They need it and they think it asserts power, so they use it to assert their dominance. And basically how evil these people are is they take people and they carve in runes that basically says like their mind and body belong to them. So they're just like mindless bodies. And they're controlled by these twins. I don't like them. I don't like them at all. Like the whole time I was reading, when Kel was in White London because he had to go deliver a message, I was just so angry reading it because of what they did to this little boy. And I'm not going to say it. That's basically all I have to say. I am liking this more. I think it was the audiobook. I was listening to the audiobook, obviously, because I was cleaning and I wanted to get some reading done at the same time. And I wasn't really into it. Like, I was kind of like, So I think the audiobook may be, like, not it for me. Plus, it's a man narrating. Not that men can't narrate, but I just never really click with men narrators. Like, I like to hear, like, a woman narrate it. And maybe that's because I am a woman. But, so, I'm really liking it now. Like, I'm in it and I'm very curious to where the story is gonna go. I think we're gonna get Lila's POV now. I am now on page, let me give you a page update, 113. I'll be back when maybe I get like halfway in this book. I have something else to say to you guys. Hi guys, good morning. It is very early in the morning. It's not even light outside. Let me show you. See that? The sun's not even out yet. It's currently 6:50 in the morning and I've been awake since about like 6:30, but I wanted to update you on Dark Shade Magic because I'm actually about to go back in bed with my coffee and read a little bit of this. But yesterday I read to the halfway point and I am obsessed. I love this book a lot. I get it now. It took me about till the 100-page mark where I was really sucked into it and was like, yes, let me read it. Give me more. Give me it. So our two main characters, Lila and Kel, have now officially met. They had a run-in with each other and she stole something from him and he basically followed her, got it back, and then she saved him from someone, and now they're on a mission to go return this certain thing that she had stolen from him to its original place. And I am really liking it. I love how V.E. Schwab has done the world and has slowly put in like little pieces of the world throughout the story, so it doesn't feel like so info dumpy and it's easy to follow along. And I really like Lila a lot and Kel. I think they make an interesting main two characters. So that's pretty much all I have to say about this book, and I'm really excited to see what the last half of this book has in store for me. I'm really sad when this book ends because I don't have the current, like the next book with me, or else I would carry on reading this. And I just have this sneaky feeling that this may be my favorite read of this vlog. But that's all I wanted to say. I am gonna go read for like an hour or so in bed with my coffee and hopefully finish this today. It's currently Saturday. I have no plans. My day is wide open, which is good because the plan is to finish this and start Masters of Death. So let's go finish this book. Hello. So I have finished A Darker Shade of Magic. I finished it a couple hours ago. I really like this book. I liked it more than I thought I was. I thought for sure I wouldn't like this because the beginning wasn't hopeful for me. I was a little bored in the beginning. I could not care less about this book in the beginning. But once I reached that 100-page mark, I was like, I'm in it. I'm ready to do the dang thing. And I will be continuing on with this series and I just really liked it. Is it a 5-star read for me? No, I'm really picky with 5-star reads. So 5 stars have to be like books that I'm like obsessing over, like I can't get enough. Even though this book you could say was that because I read it very quickly and I could not put it down, but I just wasn't 5-star. It wasn't a 5-star book. Like you as a reader know when a book is 5-star, like you know that feeling. That is the feeling I'm talking about. This didn't give me that feeling, but it gave me a very similar feeling, and I think a 4-star is very much appropriate for this book. I think this is a lot different than Addie LaRue. Addie LaRue's writing is so much different from this, which is crazy because it's by the same author, but I mean, I guess that's growth. I'd be curious to know how her books after Addie LaRue read, because I know this was before Addie LaRue, and I'm very curious to see like if that's how her writing style is going to stay as that. So I don't really have much to say about this book other than liking it. I am not the reader that will give you a very intellectual review. I do not analyze books, okay? My brain just doesn't work that way. So I can tell you if a book is good or not and what I liked about the book, but I can't analyze it and be like, this is what the meaning of this book is. I liked the world V. Schwab created. I liked the characters in this book. I liked how it ended. It made me want to pick up the second book. It made me excited to continue on with the series. So I guess the question is, will I be reading more V.E. Schwab? I think I will be reading more of this series, and I think I will try her newer releases, although I don't really know what she's released. I know she's released Gallant, and I don't know what else. So I guess yes, I will. There's that. Our next book is Masters of Death by Lady Blake, and I read Alone with You in the Ether. I tried to, DNF'd it. I actually got 33 pages in, and I said, meh. Not for me. I have no idea what this book is about. Haven't really heard a lot of people talk about this book, but the end pages are very intriguing. Let me show you what the end pages look like. This is what they look like. So once I know more of this book, I will come back and tell you guys, but for now, that's all I have to say. I'm gonna pick it up probably later today. I've been taking a break from reading just because I've read so freaking much. And I've actually been watching The Queen's Gambit because Checkmate did inspire me to watch this show. It's been on my radar, I just haven't taken the plunge. And now I've taken the plunge and now I'm hooked. And that's all I want to do. So I'm gonna go watch a little bit of that. But when I have some reading updates, I will update you guys, okay? I started this book this morning and I literally started this book at 7 a.m. It is now noon and I've only read about 20 pages. Does that tell you how this is going? The thing about Olivia Blake that I forgot about is I don't like her writing style. There's something about her writing style I don't really like and I can't put my finger on it. For one, this book, through a bunch of different POVs, and I'm not talking like people. I'm talking first person, second person, and third person. So the book starts out with this prologue from, I don't even know who yet. I don't even know how it's relevant to the story. And then you get to chapter 1. It's called Tales of Old, and it's told by the perspective of Death, who is a person, no, not really a person, a figure in this book. And it tells the story of how he's come to be the godfather of this boy named Fox, who is one of the main characters in our main story. And this is told by first person. And then you switch to chapter 2 and it's told by third person and then second person. And it's really weird. Like she interchanges it. And then the third chapter goes back to third person. And I just find it very odd how she did that. I don't like second person at all. I don't like second POV. I hate it actually so much. Unless it's in like, obviously like a wellness book or something like that. But I don't. And so automatically when that happened, I was like, absolutely not. I hate it. Feel this putting me in a slump. So I went on Goodreads and read some reviews, and a lot of them are 4-star, but there's equally as much 1-star, 2-star reviews. And a lot of people are saying if you like a plot line presented to you, this is not the book for you, because there is really no plot line being like, this is what it is. But then there's also a review that says this is the type of book that will leave you saying like, oh my God, like, oh shit, which I do like books like that, but usually those books have a plot line that I can follow. And I don't like books that I'm like, why exactly am I reading this? So all I've gathered is we're following the godson of death named Fox, and he's a medium, and he's mortal but immortal. Like he's been alive for like centuries. And then he basically medium, so he like obviously does what a medium does. He talks to like dead people, really his godfather. Hello. His godfather does, death does. And then the next chapter is of Viola, and I couldn't tell you anything about it. That's all I know so far. And I don't really know what this book is about. I don't know. I'm gonna give it probably 100 pages and really give this book a fair chance, but I just don't want to pick this book up. That's how I'm feeling right now. I'm not wanting to pick this book up, and that's not a great thing for me. So I'm gonna go read, and I will talk to you guys soon. reading update for you guys. So I am now 65% of the way through this book, and oh boy. First off, the people who say the plot is not handed to you on a silver platter are definitely right. There's definitely different plot points going on, like the plot's going in different directions. So basically, let me give you the rundown of what this book is about. You are following Fox D'Amour, who is the godson of Death. Death is his godfather. He is mortal, but he's also immortal. He was given the gift of immortality. And then you are following Viola, who is a real estate agent, but she's also a vampire, but she also turns into a cat by night. And then you have a bunch of different creatures is what they're called, who are her friends and like Fox's companions, people, friends. Come and join this group. You have a siren, you have a werewolf, you have a demon, you have an archangel, you have a reaper. Like there's a bunch of people going on in this world, and they all are trying to, let me back up. How Fox comes in this story is Viola has a ghost haunting the house she's trying to sell. This ghost name is Tom, and he is the original owner of this house, and he got murdered. He doesn't know how he's murdered, but he's tied to the house and he cannot leave. So she employs Fox to help get rid of him because, you know, he's a medium, but he's not really. He just talks to his father, his godfather. So they come to the house and Fox can't see him, of course, and then Fox realizes that his godfather is not answering his calls, and then this guy named Brandon shows up, who him and Fox have had like past relations. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. And he said, Death is missing, Death is in trouble. And then they're talking about this game that they play, that like immortals play. And that's all very confusing. And so now they're all gonna go on this adventure to find Death. And you're also trying to figure out who murdered Thomas, like what going on in there. So it's very confusing, honestly. And I'm not hating it, but honestly, every time I'm reading it, I'm just kind of get frustrated because all these characters do are literally bicker with each other, and I'm like, can we move forward? We spent, I kid you not, 230 pages of them bickering before we moved on to going and finding Death, like trying to find Death. And I'm just like, what is going on? Also, the way this book is written is so weird. I don't like this writing style at all. I'm so sorry to any of you Olivia Blake fans. I'm just not a fan of it. It's not awful, but I'm not having the best of time. I am hoping to finish this very quickly. So if this book does not wow me, I don't see me really giving this a high rating. But if something happens and it automatically wows, and it really wows me, then it'll go high rating. But so as I stand right now, it's honestly at like a 2.5. I'm cooking dinner, so I need to run. I just needed to update you guys before I finish this book, and didn't update you guys because I realized I haven't updated you guys since being like 30 pages into this book. So I'm gonna go read more in a little bit, and I'll catch you guys probably when I finish this book with my final thoughts and reviews for this book and then this entire video. Okay, see you then. Guys, it's currently 5:40 in the morning. You can't see that, but it's really 5:40. I am about to sit down and finish Masters of Death. I literally have 20 pages left, so I thought we could finish them together. It. I am here to wrap up this video and tell you my thoughts and feelings on this book and all the other books. I don't want to say I had a fun time because I didn't have a fun time. I didn't hate this book as much as I originally thought I was going to, so I guess that's good. Am I going to pick up another Olivia Blake book? No, I'm done with her. I'm so sorry if she's your favorite author, but I cannot do it anymore. I hated how this book was literally just, what is this? Almost 400 pages of people bickering about nothing, and then you get to the last 10% of this book and something actually happens, and then it's revealed to you what the whole point of this book was. And I don't like books like that. I need the plot presented to me. Like, I need to know what exactly is the point of this book, or I'm not gonna read it. So I gave this a 2.5. I think my favorite of this entire TBR I did is an obvious one, but A Darker Shade of Magic definitely was my favorite of the entire video. I loved this book so much, and I'm so excited to continue on with it. That is it for this week's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, subscribe because I would love to have you here. What are some authors you want to give a second chance to? Let me know, because maybe I'll pick up those authors. And I hope you are being kind to yourself and others around you. And I will see you guys next Sunday. I love ya.